Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Hey, Tom. Good morning. How are you?
Very well, Bob. How are you today? Nice outfit, by the way.
Thank you. I only have black, blue, and gray. So statistically, it's gonna fall into this genre. And I'm trying. Someone told me about the logos on shirts, so I'm trying not to wear my ones with logos as much.
Is that bad?
I don't know. You told me one day, you mentioned it, and ever since I've been keeping the logos. I have a lovely Hopkins shirt, a sweater, but I haven't worn that in probably 3 weeks. Because Tom, you are so esteemed in my life. I mean, yesterday you took the role of CEO of this endeavor with us, just out of the blue. There was no vote. There was no discussion. You know, we had an inauguration of a president. I saw another president earn a second term yesterday in a different world. And then you claimed a CEO title with what we're doing. It was quite a day. I mean, the world is changing. Just so you know, people, Tom said at an event yesterday, he gave his name and said, "I'm Tom Brush, CEO," and then he caught himself. It was priceless to me.
Yeah. Those words that we utter sometimes that we never get back. Fortunately, I think I've been lucky on this show. I've only shared a few of them, whereas Bob, I think, would imagine that he has shared many more. Anyhow, good morning.
Yeah, the ratio is certainly off there.
Well, at least in your mind it is. That's all right. All right, everyone. Good morning. I'm Tom Brush. This is Bob Graham, and this is today's Antidote, our daily Facebook Live show where we try to provide that one thing that's going to help business owners, leaders, entrepreneurs, anyone really trying to take those next steps and figure out that one thing that might help them do that. You know, that's our goal, is that, we're not trying to provide a lot. We're trying to have a conversation, and then hopefully that will provide you with one thing. We will share the one thing, but we also know that through the comments and through your own listening, you'll come up with your own one thing. So please share that in the comments, either live or if you're watching the recording, put them in there as well. So we are off this week talking about partners, which is a great topic. We had a great conversation. You know, we started Monday trying to define what it is. Why?
And Tom, let me just real quick. I want to make sure people are clear that partners don't have to be like formal business agreement. It can be more organic than that, because I keep hearing that word and going, oh, they're going to think that we have to be like formalized, Brush and Graham law firm.
Okay. Yes. That was part of Wednesday's conversation, where I think we really tried to get into.
I'm going to let you in on a secret. Not everyone watches us every single day. I know it's crazy to believe that someone would actually skip a day, but I've heard tell of this.
Okay. I was just trying to give them here's where we've been. That's
okay. I'll go back to my corner. You are the CEO.
Hard. This is going to be really hard. I'm going to have to get a logo shirt that says "Not the CEO." Anyhow, so we're having a conversation about partners, and I think yesterday we had a really great conversation about what defines a partner. We even had two members of the audience at that point go in and go to Webster's dictionary and get us the actual definition, which was interesting because I actually had the feeling that if we threw that question out there, someone would go out and share with us the actual definition. And so I think that was a good conversation, because we had a conversation about, is it an ally? Is it a mentor? Are they partners or are they not? And I think, that's, again, what becomes real for each of us in how we Bob and I have a conversation about what we think it is. And we have a feeling that will have some influence over what others think, and what people share in the comments will influence what's real for us. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what they aren't. And really, it's maybe not as much what they aren't, but, kind of what to watch out for. And when someone isn't being a partner. Because sadly, I think there are a lot of people out there who even maybe think they are going to be with the best intentions, but in reality aren't. So do you have some thoughts on that, Bob?
I have so many thoughts on that, Tom. I'm trying to control my words and avoid burning bridges here, which is going to be an endeavor, because I think one of the things I had to learn in my business journey is that I need to be around the right people. That makes a huge difference to my success. In fact, and we talked about this many, many times, you and me privately, it's what led us to create the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, because we wanted to gather the people that were like genuinely trying to help each other grow, not the people who said, oh, Bob, I want to help you, and then help themselves. Not the people that said, hey, come work with me and take advantage. Let me take advantage of you for my personal benefit. I'll string you along and tell you that, yeah, just do this one thing for me, and then that'll open the door and I can pay you. I've experienced all of that. And my first company did not go the way it should have, because frankly, the two things, I wasn't committed enough, and I don't think I surrounded myself with the right people. And you and I didn't know each other really then, so I'm not going to put you in that group. But I think the people I surrounded myself with were not partners, because one, they didn't hold me accountable. They saw me. I worked in an office where I was screwing around a lot. I mean, I was an office comedian. I should have just done stand-up back then. I did some things for that group, for a group where I was working, that I didn't get compensated for and didn't really generate any revenue for me. And it started to become a time suck, where it was like, oh man, I'm doing 10 hours of this, 20 hours of this. What the hell? And I never had anyone to pull me aside and be like, dude, what's the return on investment? And I think what I've come to realize is, to be successful in business, you have to surround yourself with those people that have the right intention. I would tell you, Tom, you're someone who always has the right intention. We had a discussion yesterday where I was a little negative about something, and you immediately said, no, wait, whoa, time out. Here are all the great things about it. And I didn't react in the moment, but last night when I was going to sleep, I was like, yeah, this isn't as bad as I thought. I think that's what a good partner can be. It's the person who makes you feel better about what you're trying to do, not worse. They're not the one comparing. They're not the one pushing your head down, going, get underwater, get underwater. They're the one going, hey, you should come up, take a look at the scenery around the pool. Get out and get a drink. Why don't you get some sun? Hey, I got a great book for you to read. Those, metaphorically, that's what we're looking for. But I think a lot of us, not a lot of us, but a lot of people just want to push everyone else down. They believe that if I succeed, that makes them more of a failure.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's one of the challenges. I think there's also the partners who just tell us what we want to hear. And I think that's almost as dangerous, or maybe more dangerous, because they are encouraging us, again, for the wrong reasons. And I think, sadly, they're out there. They're just not interested. They're not there to provide what we need. They're provided to get what they need. And I think that's to me, that's sort of the balancing point of when they're a partner and when they're not. You can have a partner that tells you things that aren't, sometimes we need that. That's sort of reality check, like, hey, you know what? I think you're moving in the wrong direction. I think you need to think differently about what you're doing. I'm not telling you have to, just offering that this, might be where we need to do that. And I think that's I think when I think about partners, is that they are willing to provide what it is that we need wherever we are at. And it's all about us, not necessarily about what's in it for them. They might benefit because they feel good about what they did. Maybe they benefit because that we are paying them, which means that they are getting something in return and they are honestly care about what we are doing. I think for funny reasons, I seem to always go back to the gym, and there are these coaches in the gym because they don't always have the same one. Some of them, like they honestly care about how you get better and how every person in the class gets better. They know their names. They know like what are the challenges that they face and how they might be able to face them differently. I've had this thing with my wrist, so I can't really do like push-ups or anything where I'm putting pressure on my wrists. And the two coaches that I always go to know that. So they will always come over and be like, here's something you could do a little differently. I have had coaches in the past that didn't care. They were just there to do their thing, get paid, and move on. Yeah, maybe there were a couple of people they paid attention to, but I don't believe that they were in it for the best interest of who was around them. That's their option. They can do that. And I think we see those people in business all the time. They're in it for themselves, not what's best for the organization, what's best for the group, or what's best for everyone else.
I also think there's a category of people that are ethically different in what they believe is acceptable behavior. And I'm finding more and more that I want to surround myself with the people who have the same ethical barometer. You and I talked about an issue yesterday related to this that ended up biting some people unknowingly. And you and I both said, this is the line that we are on. We're not crossing this line. I like people who have the same ethics as me, sometimes even better ethics than me. I aspire to be around those people like, wow, this is really great. If I find that ethically I'm in direct opposition to someone, I find that now I would just be like, woo, woo, woo. No, not going there. And I'm not talking about, tax evasion or bank fraud or anything like that. I'm not talking about big stuff, but I'm talking about like how pricing is done, how people deal with their clients, what kind of confidentiality do they involve in what they're doing? Because those are some of the things that matter to me. And I'm not saying I'm the only person in the world that I'm right or wrong. I'm just saying I'm going to I get to choose. And I think that's the thing I had to learn in business. I get to choose who I spend time with. I choose to spend time with you because you and I are aligned on what we're trying to do. You and I have the same business objectives. We have similar experiences, and we help each other without any, really, Bob? You're going to ask me another? Would you I got work to do. I don't have time. You might say that to me, but you'd say, but I can fit that in Friday. And I think we often think of partners as just the people that emerge. I would say I've gotten much better at finding good business partners and allies and people to work with by looking for them and saying, this is the bar. You've got to be this kind of person for me to engage with. I don't know how you do it. I know you do it, but I don't know if you have like a metric in your head. I don't have a checklist, but in a way I kind of do.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is why I think the challenge for me, what's real for me, is that I don't feel like I go out looking for those people. I feel like I find them. It's kind of like, this was always my philosophy at networking events was that.
Wait a second, Tom. You just said I don't go out looking for those people. I find them. Isn't looking for those people and finding them the same thing?
Actually, I don't believe so.
Okay, can you explain that to me? Because I'm lost, and I'm not being funny. I'm being dead serious.
No. So I think that we can go out searching for what we want, right? I could go out and say, you know what? I really need a partner. I want to do that. And sometimes we are able to find those people. Mm-hmm. You can do a Google search and you can interview a ton of people and you eventually find who you think fits. I think for me, it's like an overall longer term, it just develops. And I don't even necessarily realize that they're a partner until we're deeper into the relationship. And I start to see, like, you know what, this is why I want to be around this person. I remember very clearly, I was, my business was just getting started, and there were some things I was really struggling with, and I knew I needed some help. And so I guess in that regard, I did go out looking, but I didn't really know what I was looking for. I knew I needed help in something. And so I just started watching a bunch of people, which I guess goes against my idea about interviewing. And I'm not even sure I know why. I guess because I aligned with the person. And I think that's maybe what it is. Like, when I go out to a networking event, I usually don't have an intention of, I need to meet a lawyer. I need to meet an accountant. I need to meet this type of person. I go out and say, like, all right, I just need to meet people. And and I'm going to figure out who are the likely one or two people that I want to be around more. Now, they might not want to be around me. They might
know that feeling.
They might not have, there might not be some role of a partnership that we play. And yet that's who I want to surround myself with. People who I feel like this is who so maybe I am actually that's what I'm looking for. Like you and I I don't ever think my thought was, hey, this would be a great guy to be a partner with. Over X number of years, I started to realize, and I think we both maybe realized, that each of us provided something that the other was interested in, whether that was just, people who shared our ethics or people who were just good people around and who actually cared about where the other one was at and how maybe they could help them out. And so, I guess
I feel like we should hug this out, Tom. I wish we were in the same room. I feel like this is a moment where we just hug and go, I love you, man. I love you. No.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, I feel like that's what I was fortunate enough to find throughout my career. Like, at almost every stop, I wasn't looking for that person who I knew if I was struggling, I could call them up. Or if I knew I just had a big success, I could call them up. And our conversation was only about them being there to listen or to provide feedback. And at the same time, I know they knew that if they needed something, they could call me and we could have a conversation about it. And I would, whatever it was, I could celebrate with them, could provide them with some feedback, or I could listen when they just were struggling. And go ahead.
I was going to say, I have a theory for why that's easy for you.
Okay.
You played sports in high school and college, right?
A lot in high school, a little bit in college.
Okay. You had that team environment where people build each other up and they support each other and they know each other pretty intimately. I didn't have that experience. I didn't play a sport. I see that from afar. Like, I see the football team win and they're all hugging each other on the lawn. It's like, wow, that's really cool. I don't have that experience. So I don't think I go to that the way that you do, because what you just described, like, I believe, weren't you in some sort of fraternity or something? Well, you were in some group, right, in college?
I was in a bunch of groups. I was in a lot of groups in college.
Okay. Because I think you got that foundation in high school playing sports and started to go, wow, this is where I find people. I haven't had that experience. I have to go out of my way to find people, to force myself into situations with people. And I'm an extrovert. I don't have a problem with that, but I'm an observer. I'm not a participant typically. Mm-hmm. You're a participant. And I think that's one of the differences that I didn't recognize until now. Neither one's right or wrong. It's just, if we've had an experience where we've been in a team environment, whatever that looks like, you could have been in Glee Club, you could have been in a church or synagogue group, doesn't matter. I think you start to realize, hey, you know what? There's something about aligning with people. And I think what's interesting is those of us who go from full-time jobs in corporate America, whatever that looks like, to running our own business, the big thing that we lose is you don't have that collection of people that you can start to build that. You don't have the conferences in your industry where you can find people. You don't have employees to go to lunch with. It's very isolating.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Now
Absolutely.
more than ever, right? I mean, you're home all day. If you don't hop on a Zoom call, if you don't reach out to someone, you could become a hermit. I mean, you could literally not talk to a person for a week or 10 days. And if in that week or 10 days, you're going, this is not working. I got a problem. I can't go on. What am I going to do? That's where a partner comes into play. When I've learned that when I have those moments of fear, of frustration, of uncertainty, I've got to reach out to someone like you. You may not know it. I'll just be like, hey, Tom, what's going on? Hey, I got a question for you. But really, there's a deeper issue that I'm trying to get around to that I've got to work through because I realize I can't solve it myself. Because if I could solve it myself, Tom, I would have.
Right.
And that's the thing that I had to really realize is that I'm more powerful with my allies than I ever will be alone.
As long as you have the right ones, right?
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
I think
Yes.
the same thing can be true is if unfortunately you somehow end up in yourself, you can be a lot less powerful, a lot less effective if you have just found the people who you maybe thought. And how do we know, right? You only know by experiencing, and at some point you determine that the experience is one that is beneficial, and this makes sense to be partnership, or to be partners, or you decide, yeah, this is not taking me the way I want to go. This is taking me in a direction that I thought I wanted to go because they were people I met, and they seemed like we were on the same wavelength, or for you, they're on the same ethical barometer. And in reality, they weren't.
Right.
And you may have just changed. What was real for you
Indeed.
may have changed. You got new experience, knowledge, and perspective. And so you're like, maybe this isn't serving me the way I thought it was.
How about if we put some comments in, Tom?
That'd be great.
Tim says, always good when you both get the memo. That's with our sweaters today. So that's good. I like that. He also had a quote. There are words that we utter that we never get back. The incomparable Tom Brush said that, and he's going to live that for a while until I forget about it. What people skip a day of listening to our broadcast? Since when? I know it's hard to believe.
I don't skip a day, just so you know.
Tim also said, Bob and I know someone that partnering with was an error in judgment. Hopefully we both learned from that experience. And it's funny, that experience for Tim and me crystallized our relationship.
So here,
we both saw that.
Can I comment on that?
Please.
This is where we take something that we've gained, even though what we gained might not have been as helpful as we thought, and we look at it as a negative. Like error in judgment means that you made a bad decision. You may have just not had all the information. So what was real for you was that you thought this made sense. This looked like the right path. You gained new knowledge. Maybe you met other people. You got other feedback, and what was real changed. So you can look back at it as like a negative. You could also look back at it as, you know what? That's all part of the learning process. It's all part of gaining more knowledge, experience, and perspective. And I'm starting to believe that without that, I couldn't be where I am today. I've had things that didn't go great. Definitely not the way that I expected.
But you're a CEO of a major company.
And
so much fun.
For a long time, I struggled with it. And what I have realized now is I look back at it, I look back and say, you know what? Yeah, I could beat myself over what didn't I do right? What went wrong? How could I do it? I'd just rather say, what did I learn? And how has that experience helped me help others? If I had never gone through that, it would be hard to talk to people who are going through the same situation because I don't really understand where they're at. Having gone through it, now I'm maybe a step or two ahead, and I can be like, all right, here's some of the things you might want to watch out for. Here are the obstacles that are going to come. You may think you got it handled. This is going to happen, and it's going to reopen all those old wounds. So how do you start to look at that as knowledge gained or experience or new perspective rather than, and not to pick on Tim's words, but error in judgment?
Well, it's funny, Tom, as you were saying that, I realized that I did a podcast with this person that we're talking about for about 5 or 6 months. Had I not done that podcast with him, you and I would not be here right now. There's a direct correlation that helped me realize that there was a message to get out and there was a way to do it. So yeah, maybe it wasn't an error in judgment. It was the thing of the moment, and now something different is important. So thank you for that. That was great. Tim, also, I was the office comedian. Yeah.
He's a comedian on this show too.
Here's my favorite comment of the day. Tim said, Liz noticed me. So I don't even know where to go there. You'll have to dig into that one sometime, Tom. Tim also said, people don't care what you know until they know that you care. I couldn't agree more. Tim also added, I want to surround myself with people that have the same ethical barometer. I think I said that. And then he said, Tom needs the context, Bob. Talk to him about it offline. I'm not sure what that was. I know it. Oh, he knows the context.
Oh, yeah. I know the context.
Oh, big time. He lived part of it.
For a little bit.
So Tom, can I offer that one thing?
Please do.
Okay. To me, it is the partners are your choice. You can choose. You can choose how many. You can choose what you engage with them about. You have more control over it. I thought for a long time it was something that just found me. Now I realize I have control over who and what that looks like. Not that I'm going out and going, I'm looking for someone who deals with these issues. I want a lawyer who does bankruptcy and all. No, more. This is the people that make me feel good about myself are the people I choose to be around.
Correct. Here's my one caveat.
Go ahead.
What if they choose something different?
Oh, that's fine. I have that happen all the time.
I guess you can still choose to be around them and get whatever, take, advantage of what it is. All right. So I'll go with that. Sorry.
I do think it's synergistic. It's not a one-way street, but I do have some control.
Absolutely. You have the ability to determine, does this still add value for me? Is this still, or am I still be able to add value? And I think that sometimes things change, right? And we get to a point where either we're not getting the value we need, or we're not able to offer the value that we need, sometimes I think we need to be able to offer value. And that's what we bring to a partnership. Other times we receive it, and sometimes it goes back and forth. And I think figuring that out and knowing when that no longer is serving either one, and now it's time to move on.
Tim added the quote. I don't remember saying that. That's so funny. The people that make me feel good about myself are the people I want to be around.
That was probably 10 minutes ago. So
okay, that's fine.
Forgot.
It's a good thing Tim's keeping the minutes of the meeting, because otherwise I don't know what would happen.
All right,
so Tom, question for you. Tomorrow is that fourth Friday of the month that you and I have a conflict over. Are we going to do this live at 7 a.m. or are we going to tape it? And yes, folks, this is the creative process that is today's Antidote.
I think we do it live. I'm good for 7.
Okay, I'm good for 7 a.m.
All right. So thanks, everybody, for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Thanks to everybody who shared their comments and thoughts. We appreciate it. And if you have other thoughts, please feel free to put them in the comments. If you want to share your one thing or share how you look at partners and what helps you determine what makes a good partner for you, please share it in the group, because someone will benefit it. And again, that's where we have our Ring of Renegades Facebook group, where we have these type of conversations and people share this information so that we can all figure out what's real for us and maybe have an influence by something that somebody says. If you're not a member of the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, just go to Facebook, search for Ring of Renegades, and ask to join our community. It is closed. All you have to do is ask. And tell us why you're a renegade. So we hope to see you inside the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. And if not, we will see you here tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Eastern time, or you can catch the recording on the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. And I think if you're struggling to find that partner who can really benefit what you're trying to do, and you know what you're looking for, but you haven't been able to find it, our Renegade Success Network may be the next step. And so I'm going to share, as we close, a little more information about our Renegade Success Network. So go out, have a great day. We will see you inside the Facebook group, or we'll see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. Eastern time for our next edition of Today's Antidote. Have a great day, everyone. Take care, Bob.
You too, Tom.
Are you struggling to make your vision a reality? Are you stuck and don't know what to do next? Are fear and doubt holding you back? The Renegade Success Network will help you determine the next steps on your pathway. Here is some of what you will get. Create your pathway call to start you on a better path. Unlimited laser solution sessions to keep you from getting stuck. Nurture your network events to build your network with other successful leaders. Monthly Renegade challenges to prepare you for what lies ahead. The Renegade Success Vault, giving you access to videos, tools, and tips on specific topics anytime you need them. And the Renegade Success Network community, an exclusive Facebook group of like-minded renegades, all working towards achieving their goals. You have a choice. Do it yourself and fumble forward slowly and alone. Or join the Renegade Success Network and be part of a community built to help you find your own pathway. Join today at renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Act now and jumpstart your journey on your own pathway to success.